All right, hello, hello. We are back, House and Fata Morgana tonight. I don't have anything witty to say, honestly. Let's go ahead and do our recap and just get into it, because we've got a lot to do. We're fixing time, we think, maybe, possibly, or we're fucking up time, because we're good at that. But all right, Morgana tried to say Giselle doesn't exist anymore and feed our hatred to goad us into killing her, but we want to save her instead. We have a more nuanced opinion on the three men she wants to torment and acknowledge their humanity in addition to their crimes against Morgana. Giselle's mirror, full of her memories, gives us some domain over the house that lets us show her things from the perspective of herself as Abby. The final Doors story has no narrator and starts with Morgana in captivity. Mel's past self kept things secret from his Nellie. Yukimasa talked with the nun that became Pauline about her desire to live with him in another life. We woke up in the light outside the house 3 days before Morgana's death, with Giselle's voice audible but herself still in the void looking through our eyes. Giselle wants to change the past, but at the very least we have to connect her to Abby. We ran into Mel and told him we're God, which he wrote off as paganism that won't hold a candle to the saintess. He took us to the church to meet the nun, and we decided we need to save Morgana by moving in to steal all the keys. Pauline runs the place on her own after transferring from a different church. Mel took us to his room after we let slip that we know the secret ingredients in Saint's blood, and we told him everything to convince him to repent. Yeah, that didn't work out for us. Mel told us to wait for his answer tonight, then brought Jacopo and Yokimasa, who assumed he snitched on them to us and killed us for a bad end. We tiptoed around how we do everything next time by claiming we heard a story and then asked to sleep over. We need to figure out the personal relations that drive them to abuse Morgana so we can use them to our advantage. At the cottage that Nellie and Pauline live in, we had to butter up Mel to get on Nellie's good side and have happy playtime with her. She'd rather be sick and have him tend to her occasionally than me alone from him, so we told her to let Mel know he doesn't need to be her perfect prince. She's grateful that we talked to her like a real person and not a princess and declared us her second brother. All right, let's go back and talk more to Nellie, because girl deserves it. Poor thing. I can't shake the feeling I'm rushing things, but at this point, all I can do is go with it and pray it works out. If we had the time, I think we'd all like to hold off. Nellie looks like she's having so much fun, and even you seem to be enjoying yourself. No, I'm just. It's nothing to be ashamed of. I'm having fun watching you myself. Let's do it. Let's tell her about Morgana. We have to do it at some point anyway. Yes, let's. Nellie, do you mind if I ask you a question? What is it, dearest Michael? Ask me anything you want. Have you heard of something called Saint's Blood? Yeah, Giselle, you voyeur. You mean the medicine? Yes, except it's not actually. I know, yeah. It's actually the Saintess's blood, not medicine. Well, that's a new one. But no telling. You. What? One day before we moved here, when it was just me and Mel, the Saintess came to visit. My mind had been all foggy for a long time, like I was not quite asleep, but not quite awake either. But when I heard her soft, pleasant voice, the fog cleared a bit. And then she performed a miracle for me. Blood is awful and gross and terrible, but the Saintess's, hers is different. Hers is pure. So you're saying you know everything, Nellie? About the observation tower and. Huh? The tower? What about it? That's where they keep her. What? No, the Saintess is always in the chapel. And she stays here with me. She comes back at night. Okay. I was wondering where we were getting off, like where we weren't syncing up here, because I assumed based on what Mel told us that the Saintess was the nun. But then Nellie was talking about the Saintess being Morgana. So we do have a disconnect, it sounds like. Yeah, exactly. The placebo effect can only take you so far.
In fact, she should be here any minute now.
Oh,
So, she thinks the Saintess.
is the nun and not Morgana. No, Nellie, that blood comes from.
I'm really, really grateful to her. She didn't just perform the one miracle, she's been taking care of me while I'm here too. So whenever I see her, I always say thank you. I thank her for sharing her blood with me. And she always says it's nothing with a big smile.
Nellie, no. The nun has no idea. She just assumes Nellie's thanking her for giving her the medicine.
I owe the Saintess my life.
No, Nellie. She's not the one you should be grateful to.
Huh?
The girl you owe your life to has been locked up, suffering and alone even as we speak.
But the Saintess is at the church.
The girl who came to visit you is not the nun everyone calls the Saintess. Her name is Morgana.
What are you talking about, Michael? The Saintess is locked up? Stop that! I have no idea what you're talking about.
Everything I'm telling you is the truth. Please believe me. While you were lying in bed, sick and barely conscious, did you get a good look at the Saintess who gave you her blood? You didn't, did you? You couldn't make out any details because your mind was a haze. And then, when you arrived at this estate, you met a woman who people called the Saintess, giving out medication known as Saint's blood. So you assumed she was the one who had cured you. That's the story you chose to believe.
If what you're saying is true, then where is the other Saintess? The one who came to see me?
At the top of the mansion's observation tower. The door to the tower is locked. She's imprisoned there.
And how do you know this?
Because it probably wouldn't be wise to tell her I'm from the future just yet. That would only serve to confuse her further. All I need to convince her of right now is that Morgana is being held in the tower. There's an idea. Perhaps I can borrow from the story the white-haired girl told Mel. I received a letter.
A letter?
There's a single window, far out of reach, in the chamber at the top of the tower. A dove flew in through the window, and so she wrote a letter, tying it to the bird's leg and releasing it in the hopes someone would come to set her free. That letter ended up in my hands.
If that's the case, then who locked her up? Was it the Saintess? The one I know?
No, I don't believe the nun is aware. I think she's simply doing her job in good faith.
Then who?
Michael, I know very well that what I'm about to say will likely crush her. But I can't let that stop me.
Who would do such a terrible thing?
Nellie, I want you to brace yourself for what I'm about to say. There are 3 men participating in Morgana's imprisonment. And one of those 3 is your brother, Mel. I understand that that's the last thing you wanted to hear. But please believe me, I would not say something so upsetting lightly. I wish to save Morgana, the true saint. And I would like your assistance. Without your help, I can't get her out of that tower. I need you to get through to Mel. Otherwise, both he and Morgana will remain entrapped.
That's not true.
Nellie.
You're lying. You have to be. My Mel would never do something so horrible. You're a terrible liar.
It's true. I swear to you.
You think I'm going to believe that? My Mel's an amazing, wonderful person. He's not cruel and evil. He's good and kind like a prince. And a prince would never lock someone up.
I know you're not blind, Nellie. You can see that all your prince talk has been putting pressure on him.
So, you think that's going to change my mind? He has no reason to do any of that.
But he does, Nellie. He's certainly not happy about it, no, but he's doing it for you.
What do you mean?
He needs her blood to keep you healthy. So, to ensure he always had a supply.
But, no,
And despite that, Saint's blood probably doesn't even have healing properties. No one benefits from doing this. Not you, not Mel, and certainly not Morgana. And I don't think anyone can stop him except you.
Mel won't listen to me.
Did you not just say you would talk things through with him?
Just shut up. Stop talking already. I'm done listening to you.
Nellie.
I'll never believe you. You're not my brother anymore. You're just a horrible, horrible man. Who do you think you are to march in here and try to make my Mel into the bad guy? And after I made you my second brother? What's wrong with you? I trusted you. I ate nasty pie and had tea with you. But you're just a mean, evil man here to turn me against my Mel.
Yeah, there you go.
So is the Saintess not the one who replaces the teeth under my pillow with money and eats the milk and cookies I leave out on Christmas?
The Saintess is all of the seasonal patron saints. I don't know what you would call them, but I know you don't want to believe me. But I'm telling you the truth. Every word. I beg you to open your eyes. Ask him yourself. If you don't believe me, then ask Mel about Morgana. I guarantee you, he'll panic.
Enough! Enough already! Get out of here! Get out this instant!
Nellie.
Don't say my name! Just go away! Get out of here! Now! I don't want to see you ever again! I should have chased you off the moment I saw you! Get out now!
I pray you can find it in yourself to open your eyes and face the truth.
Get out!
One last thing before I go, Nellie. It was my only option. I know that. But I feel like all I accomplished by telling her was bringing her more pain. It's a difficult balance.
We just have to pray that you were able to get through to her. I'm sure she'll come around.
If only we had a little more time. In 3 days, it will all be over. Morgana and the entire web of people connected to her will die. That's not enough time. Let's return to the mansion and look for Mel. I would like to speak with him. If there's a chance we can get even the smallest bit of Nellie's feelings through to him, maybe he'll have a change of heart.
Hopefully.
It's hardly going to be elegant, but it's what must be done. Now I'm sad. Like, the first thing we did on this stream was just break Nellie's heart. I'm so sad.
Did you just get back? The Saintess was telling me you went to see Nellie. What do you think? Sweet girl, isn't she?
That's fair. Yeah, if they've been drinking the blood for this long and she's right about it being a venereal disease, we might already be too late to save the town. So it could just be coincidence they all drop dead at the same time, I guess. That she is.
Though she can be a bit of a handful at times. I'm glad you could keep her company for a bit.
Now, just to be sure, you kept a lid on all your crazy talk, right? She treated me to some tea, nothing more.
Ah, the stuff with the flower petals in it, yeah? She thinks it's some kind of charm to make it taste better.
Girls seem to have a thing for stuff like that. Mel,
Hmm?
could you spare a bit of time for me? We need to talk.
Oh, sure. Can it wait a bit, though? I have to run a little errand after supper. When I'm done with that, I'll meet you in your room.
All right.
You think the errand is...
Bringing Morgana her meal, presumably. We might be able to catch the three of them opening the door if we trail Mel.
It's too big a risk. Mel's already wary enough as it is.
I concur. And we don't know how the other two might react either. It's best to play it safe. No one's going to come to our defense if we're caught, not at this point in time. So we'd be better off waiting in our room.
Agreed.
Exactly. Everyone likes adding things that make stuff taste better. And like, even if it doesn't actually make it taste better, like it's the little things. It makes it feel special. So it's worth it, right? We sneak in Mission Impossible style. Yeah, I somehow don't think that maybe Mel we could sneak around, but Yukimasa we're gonna have a problem with, I think. I don't know how we're gonna get around him physically. So though winter has receded and spring is well upon the land, there's still a sharp chill to the night air. Even with the window shut, the wind still manages to slip through the cracks, making the candle flame waver. Neither Giselle nor I say much of anything. But nevertheless, when she does speak, the sound of her voice, soft and pleasant, relaxes my nerves. The faint sound of her breathing reminds me I'm not alone, that she's there, always watching over me. When the candle is about half gone, the door swings open. There we go. We sneak in and booby trap the room, Home Alone style. Clearly, that's, I mean, we do kind of, if we're going to get around them, we need the element of surprise, maybe. Maybe that's going to be the determining factor. I don't know.
Sorry it took so long. What did you want to talk about?
You didn't bring anyone with you?
No, I didn't.
Who did you think I would bring?
No one.
I was just checking.
Now,
I'll get straight to the point. You're afflicted with a great deal of remorse, are you not, Mel?
pardon?
I know what you're doing, what you're involved in. I know the girl at the top of the observation tower very well. Her name is Morgana, and you have her imprisoned in the tower. The door requires 3 keys to open, of which you possess 1. You need her for her miracle blood.
How?
I came here to stop you.
How?
How do you know any of that?
It's not possible she could have told anyone. Did one of them tell you?
No, it wasn't them. I was told all of this by Morgana herself.
How could she?
What I'm about to tell you is going to seem impossible, but every word of it is the truth. I am not from this time. Are we sure that this isn't going to kill us this time? Like, because last time this didn't go very well. There we go. We convinced them to let Morgana go by playing ourselves up as the witch. Like, that seems logical. My biggest question here. So, say that, we do somehow get Morgana out. Whether if we have to do it by underhanded means, are we stuck in this time? Because, like, if they start hunting her down, girl's been locked in a tower for this long. Like, she's about to die. So it's not like she can go run off into the wilderness. Like, yeah, she's gonna die in 3 days. But she could die in 3 days and 2 minutes, depending on how we do this. So, I'm stressed. Many, many years after her death, Morgana's soul told me what happened to her. What? What are you even talking about? She's still alive. You're not from this time? What? Are you mad? Can you come up with any other explanation for how I would know everything I know? There's a single window in the room at the top of the tower. A small, insignificant thing that sits high upon the wall, and entirely useless for communicating with the outside world. In 3 days' time, during the Harvest Festival, Morgana will die. Yeah, that's a possibility. We don't expect us to succeed in freeing Morgana in the past. We're getting more info that can make her give up her grudge. I'm sorry, like, I get our point of view here, right? Obviously, it's not clear cut. But also, we're not the ones who got locked in a tower and had our blood siphoned off. So no matter what their motivation is, how the hell are we getting her to give up her grudge? Like, just telling her it's complicated. Maybe I am a vengeful bitch, but I would kind of sit there and wonder, maybe all this shit still wasn't my fault. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. And I must prevent that from happening. Prevent it? To do that, I need your key. Will you give it to me? There you go. Talking nonsense again. You know, I warned you not to kick up any dust. For your own sake. But I guess that didn't get through, huh? I don't care who you are, or where you came from. All that matters is that you intend to stand in our way. What, did you think I was just a helpless little boy? That you could take my key without any trouble? Well, you'd be right about that. If it was only me, stealing my key and setting her free would be a trivial matter. But it's not only me. And the other two, they won't hesitate to kill you. Your life, anyone's life, means nothing to them. You don't know what they're like, how terrifying they can be. They're killers. I'll tell them everything you told me. I'll tell them you know our secret. And don't come crying to me when they come for you. I warned you. Is that what you want? Will you find the comfort you seek by being their devoted little slave and keeping Morgana imprisoned in that tower? What else can I... If you feel at all ashamed about your part in this, if you want to do something to correct it, then you need to take that step. You can't fix this problem on your own, no. But I am here to help. Exactly. Mel, defect to our side, and Morgana might go easy on your soul. Look, if he defects to us, it's two versus two, right? You know? Technically three versus two because we've got Giselle in our head, but I don't know what she's going to do because she didn't really have anything she could do to help when they killed this last time. But like we've kind of got more even numbers, right? I'm not ashamed about anything. Don't lie to yourself. Don't act like you know how I feel. What the hell is your deal anyway? You show up out of nowhere spouting all this, I'll save you, and I'm here to help rubbish. You need to do this for your sister. Yeah, three versus two, but one is a voice in our head, another's a tiny kid, and we're a frail albino. Look, I didn't say that we have the numbers. We have to have some advantage, because right now we just have two, and one is the voice in our head. So, does it even the odds? Not really. But we can at least say that we have an advantage somewhere, so...
See, now that's ridiculous. If I wash my hands of this, I won't have access to the witch's blood anymore. And without that, Nellie can't get better. She'll die without that blood.
Her blood has no miraculous healing powers. You only believe it does, making it appear to work.
You're mad.
Morgana's blood is not curing Nellie. In fact, it may very well be killing her. If you keep giving her that blood, Nellie will also lose her life during the Harvest Festival.
What?
You're standing on the precipice of a horrific tragedy, and you're going to take everyone down with you if you don't turn back now.
What are you?
All three of you are going to lose everything on the day of the festival, and there's only one way to prevent that. You have to set Morgana free.
You're insane.
If you think I would believe that.
Nellie's going to die?
Could you have told a more mean-spirited lie?
You're the one who's trying to kill her.
I'm just trying to save her. And you're going about it the entirely wrong way. Do you have any idea how lonely your sister is right now? You should be at her side. That's what you should be doing instead of stealing a poor girl's blood.
I've heard enough.
What do you know?
If I lose Nellie, I'll have no one. My whole world will collapse. This was the only way I could keep that from happening. This was my best option. My only option. So no, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to keep Morgana locked up, and I'm going to keep stealing her blood. And I'll hand you over to the other two. I'll have them kill you. You'll regret ever showing your face. Mel, is that really true?
Yeah, Nellie for the win. I knew I loved this girl.
What? Do you really have the Saintess locked up?
If only we had a tape recorder for what he said. We don't need one. We have Nellie. Well, I mean, I assume we're going to have to convince more people. So tape recorder would actually probably be good. But why? What are you doing here, Nellie?
That man told me I had to talk to you. And he said if I didn't have the courage to do it myself, to wait outside his room tonight, because he was going to get the truth from you.
We laid a trap. We laid a trap. You conniving son of a... You were planning this all along. Why would you tell Nellie? Why would you bring her, of all people, into this?
Mel. Tell me, Mel. Is it true?
Nellie,
Are you really keeping the Saintess prisoner? And stealing her blood? And you said you would have him killed. I just, I, I never thought you were such a terrible person, Mel. I can't believe you would do such despicable things. No, you're not my brother anymore.
Nellie!
Michael, go after her.
Are we going to have an option here? We have an option. Okay, do we want to stay here or do we want to go after Nellie? And we are saving, just in case. Technically, yes, the older brother spot is now vacant. So, though technically she disowned us as her older brother this morning. So, I don't know if we get it either. All right, do we want to stay here or do we want to go after her? All right, I think staying here lets us keep Mel from ratting on us. Okay, so let's stay here then. Worst case scenario, we get a bad end and we have to reload. We can't leave him alone, not like this.
Why?
Why did it have to turn out like this? Mel, calm down. You need to go after her. Tell her the truth. I thought that he ran after her, which was why I thought we maybe needed to run after her. But if he's staying, yeah, this makes more sense why we're staying. I get it. I get it. Explain to her how you got involved in this.
Why?
Why? Mel. It's all because you had to go and spill everything. You have to come clean, and you have to do it now. Remember what I said? If you don't act at the Harvest Festival, everything was just fine the way it was. But then you had to show up out of nowhere and ruin everything. Do you honestly think things were fine as they were? Of course they weren't, Mel.
Be quiet.
Shut up, damn you. What the hell's your problem anyway? I told you to keep your head down, didn't I? If you hadn't said anything to Nellie, if you weren't here... Mel, please calm down.
Mel.
You ruined everything. You made a gigantic mess out of my life. He is still a teenage boy, so, you know, we're gonna get some melodrama here. Go after Nellie now. If you explain yourself, there's still time to fix things. What do you know? She's just a kid. A little girl who dreams about being a princess and having me for her prince. You destroyed that dream, and there's no fixing it. Mel, it's all your fault. With a savage roar, Mel swipes a candlestick off the stand. Oh no. Oh, I don't know if that's a good thing or not. Yeah, my problem is I have empathy, you little shit. He rips the candle free, throwing it aside to reveal a metal rod with a sharp tip. What the fuck is up with the candles here?
Michael!
This is all on you. I'll take care of you myself. Don't do this, Mel. You're better than that.
Shut up.
You don't know me. You don't know a damn thing about me. I do. I know you wouldn't deliberately harm anyone.
Is that what you think?
What'd I tell you? You don't know me at all.
I can too.
You bet I can. Put that down, Mel. Everyone thinks I'm completely helpless, that I can't do a single thing for myself. Mel.
Well, you know what?
I can. It's not like I've got anything to lose now. Drop the candlestick, Mel. Don't do this. There's still time. All is not lost yet. Put the candlestick down. Good. Mel's trembling from head to toe. I step forward slowly, trying not to aggravate him any further. I reach out and grab the candlestick in his hand. I can feel his shaking through the cool metal. His fingers were not made to grip weapons. His hands were not made to point them at people. Tools meant to cause others harm instead act upon him. Let go. Mel. The tension dissipates from his arm, and his grip on the candlestick goes loose. Go find Nellie and tell her the truth. She'll hear you out, I'm sure of it. You never wanted to be involved in this, and she will understand. You're a good man, and she knows. You've misjudged me. What? Me? A good man? If I were such a good person, I wouldn't be holding this thing in the first place. Michael! Oh. Well, murdered by Mel was not one of the ways I thought we were going to go. Michael! Michael! What's going on out there? My gaze slides downward. No. Please, no. And there, I see the candlestick spike protruding from my neck. Oh, shit. Okay. No, don't. You can't. Hang in there. No, please. Why? Michael. No. Michael. Michael! Blood trickles down the gold bronze shaft. As soon as my mind registers this fact, excruciating pain radiates in hot waves from the wound. I make to say something, but all that comes out is a choked gurgle. My ability to speak completely stripped away. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I didn't actually mean to. I'm so sorry. Mel, frantically apologizing, grows hazy. The world twists and contorts around me. I fall to my knees. Michael? And then the rest of me hits the floor. Michael, please be okay. I'm begging you. I don't think we're okay, Giselle. Sorry. Giselle. You're still with me. Good. We need a doctor. Mel, listen to me, Mel. You need to get someone. Why can I not get through to him? Why can't I be there? Why do I have to be stuck here? Please, Michael, I beg of you, hold on. I can't bear to lose you. Michael, no, please, don't leave me. Giselle, I'm sorry. I failed you. Yeah, it would be really fucked up if Mel felt sorry and tried to treat our wound with Saint's blood. What if we die and start again on the first day? I feel like if they were going to do that, they would have done that when we died the last time. But I could be wrong. Maybe that's where we're going with this. Michael! I'm sorry. I couldn't. I will say they are dragging this out, so. Michael! Get you out of. No, you can't. No! Oh, yep, it's a dead end. Alright, let's go back. So, we're not staying anymore. Let's go after Nellie. She's probably not going to try to stab us, right? We have to stop her. Bring her back. Nellie?
Don't follow me. Just go away. Leave me alone.
Stop. If you run away from him now, Mel will never come back from this.
Uh, then, then why did you tell me? Why did you tell me what he was doing? If you hadn't said anything, everything would still be fine. We wouldn't be in this horrible mess. If you hadn't said anything, I could have kept on believing in him.
Yeah, we probably should have grabbed that candle before we ran away. Because it's still in there with him. No, things wouldn't be fine. Why can you not see that? Because she's a kid. She's like 7, 10. I don't know how old she is. She's little. You shouldn't put your faith in your ideal brother, but your real one. The boy in that room stricken with regret. If I hadn't said anything, the facade would have ruined you both sooner or later. No. In truth, your relationship was already broken. You were simply ignoring the spreading cracks. I know, on some level, you had realized that Mel was keeping something incredibly important from you, and that secret was tearing you apart.
There's nothing good about this, though. Now we'll never go back to the way we were. We can never go back to what it was like when we were kids. Just the two of us playing together every day, having fun.
Everyone's childhood comes to an end. The flow of time is impartial. You cannot fight it. What you can do, what only you can do, is choose how you change.
But...
I will admit, I am the one who opened your wounds, and now I'm putting the responsibility of tending to them onto you. It's cruel, I know. But if you don't come to terms with Mel and make him withdraw his participation, even greater suffering awaits you far in the future. It's not over yet, and you cannot let this be where it ends. The bonds you formed over the years are not yet broken. And you can do what I was never able to. I thought we were going, like, I wondered if we were making a parallel between Mel and Nellie and us and our brothers. There we go. I knew he had a secret, but I thought he was just cheating on me with another sister, not locking a girl up and feeding me her blood. Yeah, look, I cannot blame Nellie for having a problem with all of this. I don't know what I would do either, if I'm being completely honest. Like, there's a level of fucked up that at some point you just kind of go, what? Excuse me? There's no fixing that. You can still repair your relationship.
But I'm scared. Scared that my Mel could do such terrible things. That he could say, he would kill you. He used to be such a good brother. He was always so kind, so friendly to everyone. But it was all a lie.
Exactly. At some point you just go, you need therapy, like a lot of therapy. We need to get a professional involved in this. That professional is not me.
It was all a big act to fool me.
No, it was not all an act. There was truth to it. He is a kind-hearted boy, an ordinary young man whose kindness was twisted by circumstance. Yeah, don't look at me. I also need a lot of therapy. Look, we're all just a clusterfuck of I need therapy. That's just life, right? And it doesn't matter how good a person someone is. Everyone has the potential to do terrible things when backed into a corner.
You think you know everything?
I know that much. Nellie, if you want your brother back, you have to act now. Please, you must take action.
But I'm scared. What am I supposed to say to him? I don't know.
I'll be there with you. You don't have to face this alone. There's more to this story than we've heard. We don't know how he got himself involved in this, and I mean to get the rest of it out of him. And you need to be there to hear it.
If, when I hear what he has to say, I try to say something I shouldn't, if I try to say something that will ruin everything, you'll stop me? You're the one who told me to open my eyes and face him. You're the one who made this whole mess. What am I supposed to do if all this destroys everything I have? You said you'd be my brother, right? So be a good brother and help me out here. Promise me you'll make sure nothing goes bad. You'll do that, won't you? Michael, just say yes. We won't let this go bad. Have faith in yourself. Faith that you put their relationship on track to recovering. Promise her. Give her the courage she wants from you.
There you go. Nellie, you should announce that you're going on a vegan diet and boycotting blood. Like, clearly, veganism is how we fix all of this. The church has now decided everyone is vegan, and Saint's blood is meat or something, since everyone thinks it's just medicine. See, we've got this figured out. You have nothing to fear. I'll be there for you. I'll help you both.
Okay, I'll do it. I'll go back.
Thank you, Giselle.
Oh, don't mention it. Now let's go see what he has to say for himself. Let's draw back that curtain.
Yes, let's. Nellie.
Mel?
What did you come back for? I will be completely honest, I was very worried that we would come back and Yukimasa had already killed him. Or like he was dead by candlestick. Because I thought there was a decent chance of that happening. I'm very glad we were wrong, but there was the fear. To ridicule me? I'm not the brother you thought I was, huh? Not at all what you wanted me to be. It's all over. Everything Michael said is true. There's a girl imprisoned in the tower. A completely innocent girl. The girl who saved your life, in fact. Go on, tell me how cruel and terrible and evil I am. I'm no prince. Here's an idea. Why don't you make him your new prince? You can do it, Nellie. Ask him.
You have your reasons, don't you? You have some reason for being a part of this, right?
A reason? Yeah. I have a reason, all right. I wanted to save your life. I needed her blood to cure you, so I had her locked up.
Tell me the truth. I don't remember much about when the Saintess came to visit, but I do remember a little. I remember her saying she would gladly give whatever she could to the sick and needy, which means you had no need to lock her up.
It would seem the tale Morgana showed me was true. She really was a saint.
Yeah, she was.
There we go. We're fine being her new brother, but we're already Giselle's prince, and we're not a pedophile. She's got this whole thing with her brothers. I mean, yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Tell me the truth, Mel. Tell me everything.
There's nothing to tell.
There is, I know it. There's more to a story than just the facts. The things you thought, the things you felt, are all pieces that combine to make the whole story. Isn't that right, Michael?
You're exactly right. If you hadn't said anything, we could have gone on with our lives as normal.
No, Mel, we couldn't have. I thought so too at first, but it's not true. Our normal lives ended long ago. Tell me the truth, Mel. No matter what it is, I can handle it.
No, Nellie, you can't. A girl like you, who dreams of becoming a princess, couldn't possibly bear to see how hideous her brother has become.
How can I know if you don't say anything, though? That's how it's always been with us. You were nice to me, and that was all I needed. I never looked beyond the surface. I made you into my ideal brother, and I latched onto that image of you. You're a kind person, Mel. You really are. So kind you played along with my fantasy that you were a prince. But you don't have to act for me anymore. I want to know the real you. I'm all done being a princess. I'm just your little sister now, nothing more. Your one and only little sister, Mel.
You need to do this, Mel. You need to tell your story. Until you do, we have no way of understanding what you've been through, what you're going through.
No way. If I tell you, you'll lose any hope you had left in me.
As Nellie has, you need to release yourself from your own idealized fantasy, Mel. You have someone right here who will accept you for who you are. I know good and well just how hard it can be to have someone dear to you see a side of you that you didn't want to show them. I think you want to get it off your chest, though, and I think you want forgiveness. Fantasies are not everlasting. They all crumble eventually. Show us the real Mel. Tell us your story, without embellishments or omissions.
Mel.
There we go. All my hope in you is already rock bottom. Just spit it out. Oh, okay. I'll tell you. Not like I have any other options. Nellie, if at any point you can't bear to hear anymore, so be it. You're free to leave whenever you like.
I won't go anywhere. I can almost guarantee you.
I pray that ends up being true. All right, here goes. The whole story from start to finish of how I ended up in this mess. I was going to say, are we not going to get it? Okay. Until around the time I turned 17, my life was mostly uneventful. On days when it was nice out, I would take walks around the house's grounds, sometimes napping beneath a tree. It was picturesque. And you were always there with me. You have the same flax-colored hair as me, but yours always seemed to glisten in the sun, whereas mine is flat and dull. You shone like a tiny little dancing sun. At the time, I assumed that was how life would always be. I genuinely wanted it to be. Following my 17th birthday, though, I was met with a deluge of changes. First, father fell ill and passed away shortly thereafter. With his death came the question of who would be the next head. As the oldest son, normally it would fall on me to take his place. I was 17, by all means enough of an adult to handle things myself. Or, well, that's what I thought anyway. Nobody else did, though. After discussions I had no part in, it was decided that my uncle would be the next head. That they weren't confident that I had the spine to do the job properly. I wasn't sure what to think. Part of me wanted to know why nobody bothered talking to me, and part of me was relieved. Somewhere inside, I knew I didn't have what it took. So I was more than happy to let someone else take that responsibility. If it meant I could go on with my quiet life, I didn't care who they picked. My uncle, though, seemed to have caught on to my apathy, which he did not take kindly to, and in response, he formally disowned me. You're not the only one who still had some growing up to do, Nellie. I wasn't quite the adult I thought I was either. Fortunately, if you want to call it fortune, I was given enough money to live on for a decent length of time, as well as a place to stay. It was a small house, far from home, his way of making it hard for me to come back. Not that I had any intention of returning. But the best thing to come out of it all was you coming with me, Nellie.
So this is our new home, dearest Mel.
Yep, so it is. It's amazing how little there is. No big yard, no paintings, no vases filled with colorful flowers, no silver bowls full of fresh picked fruit. Say that 5 times fast.
But there is you and me.
You're not going to go and say you want to return home in a couple months when you realize life isn't as luxurious here as it was back there, are you?
There's only one thing in the whole wide world I really need.
Oh?
Honestly, I can live without shiny shoes and pretty dresses like Mother wears. I don't need composers to come and write me songs for my birthday. As long as I have the one thing that matters most to me, I can do without anything else.
Are you saying...
I'm as happy as I've ever been. I don't need all that fancy, expensive stuff.
Exactly, I just want a big rose garden.
We may not have a huge yard, but the sun shines everywhere. Flowers can grow even without a gardener tending to them.
Nellie.
I'll do whatever I can for you, dearest Mel. Are you hungry? I'm hungry.
Oh, yeah, a bit.
All right, I'll make something then. Start up with some fruit jam, and then maybe make a pie out of it. What else sounds good? I'm craving cookies.
You've got quite the sweet tooth. You're gonna make yourself sick like that.
That's the first smile I've seen since we got here.
What? That can't be right. I'm sure I've been smiling.
Nope, you've been frowning all day.
Whatever you say.
Forget about all that stuff at home. We've got each other. We can do this. Who cares that we're not rich anymore? We'll figure things out in no time. And then we'll have even more fun than we did back there.
Yeah, you're right.
It'll all work out, dearest Mel. I'll always be here for you. You've got yourself an adorable little princess. What more could you possibly need? Cheer up!
Thanks. I'm really glad you decided to come with me.
Did you think for a second I wouldn't? I'm your princess, dearest Mel. And princesses belong with their princes.
I suppose so.
Until that day, I had never known how good it felt to have someone who wanted me in their life, who saw me for me. I realized for the first time how blessed I had always been. I was hardly prince material. I wasn't strong or handsome or regal enough for that. But Nellie calling me her prince gave me the illusion of being worth something. It made me feel like I could keep on being that richly blessed young man, even this far away from home.
While I had been given some money, my supply was far from infinite. I knew I would eventually have to find some kind of work, some way to support myself and Nellie. But to be quite honest, I couldn't gather the motivation to do much of anything. My whole life had changed so abruptly, so dramatically, that my mind just wasn't able to keep up. It had knocked me on my backside, and I didn't have the strength to get back up. I couldn't tell Nellie that, of course, so this is what I said instead. I'm staying home because I want to be with you as much as possible. And she happily took me at my word. Our new life together was quiet and unremarkable. Even so, it was still a constant stream of new experiences for the two of us, having been pampered our entire lives.
Welcome home, dearest Mel. What did you buy today?
I got a, a chicken.
Wow, I've never seen one so up close before. Are we going to keep it as a pet?
I was planning on using it for supper.
Well, you're going to cook it?
That's the idea. You like chicken, though, don't you? Steamed, especially, if I remember right.
Yeah, uh, but it's all covered in feathers and flapping about. How are we supposed to cook it?
Uh, if I remember. Okay, the guy said you have to pluck its feathers, then cut off its head and drain all the blood.
Ew, no way, absolutely not. Not in a million years. You do it, Mel.
What? I've never done this before.
Well, I'm not, so you do it.
All right, all right. I'll bring it to the.
Not inside, do it outside.
Okay. Yeah, don't cook the chicken. You're a prince, not a colonel. I've never had to slaughter a chicken before. The chefs back home always took care of it. God, I hope I don't screw this up. Well, I'm not going to accomplish anything if I just sit here worrying. Just gotta give it my best shot. There we go.
This chicken is now our new pet. I'm naming him Ugly Feathers, and he will be mine.
Yeah, I'm a little skeptical that this chicken is going to end up as dinner. It's either going to end up the pet or it's going to get away. And I don't know which yet. But that's my guess. I can't watch. On the count of three, okay? The count of three. 1, 2, 3. Wait. Come back. Called it. It's gone. At first, I was just fumbling about in the dark, constantly messing up everything I tried. But in time, I started getting more comfortable with things, and I stopped pining for my old life. For the longest time, I couldn't shake the memory of the fact that I had once been a noble. I was constantly wondering how I had ended up there, why this was happening to me. There we go. I was going to cook the chicken, but then I saw the word "some cock" written in a spider web, and it changed my mind. Charlotte strikes again. Nellie seemed to have adjusted fairly quickly, but I wasn't faring so well. I was surprised, honestly. I figured if anyone was going to have an issue with our new lifestyle, it was going to be her, not me. Back home, Nellie had tended to be, well, a bit of a princess. She was frequently harsh with the Abigails, scolding them for the smallest of things. There were times I thought she might be biting her tongue for my sake, but every time it crossed my mind, she would say, "I've got you, dearest Mel. Everything's just fine." And it was those words that kept me going.
Oh, dearest Mel, I just had the most wonderful idea. Would you like to hear it?
Sure. What's your idea?
We should get married.
What? You can't be serious.
As serious gets. I mean, we're basically married. We're basically married already in everything but name.
We can't do that. We're siblings.
Nobody here needs to know that.
They can guess from our hair and eye color, though.
I don't think we look that much alike.
Anyway, whatever gave you that idea?
If we get married, then we can be together forever.
We can do that just as well as brother and sister.
It's not the same, though. No one ever says two siblings lived happily ever after. I want to be with you for the rest of my life, dearest Mel. And the best way to do that is to get married.
But Nellie,
What are you so hesitant for? Is there someone you pine for?
uh, no, but
Then there's no problem.
we're blood-related siblings. Does she realize that getting married means eventually having children and everything that leads up to that? Okay, you don't have to have children if you get married. Like, come on. Yeah, if you ever read Ana Naru Mono, siblings can totally bang. Just widen your anime choices. That goes against the teachings of the Lord. Now, she's still just a kid chasing after a fairy tale ending. She doesn't understand the reality of what she's saying. Sometimes I'm not sure what to do with you, Nellie.
So you'll marry me?
But right now, I know you need God's word. Starting tonight, you're getting your own private sermon every night. Understand?
Aww.
My instruction was as much for my own sake as it was for Nellie's. I'm not going to lie, the thought did cross my mind that her proposition might not be so bad. For one, I couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life with anyone else, and it had been her smile that had kept me going when things got difficult. Yeah, Mel really did just say you need Jesus. Mel also just said, I need Jesus, so. But I knew that it was a sin, and I didn't think I'd be able to live with myself if I crossed that line. So, night after night, I taught her, reminded her that we were brother and sister, and that we didn't have to be anything more for her to be the most important person in the world to me. And after about our third month away from home, that life began crumbling. Nellie woke up one day with a high fever that refused to break. I thought it was just a cold and that she'd be over it soon enough at first, but as much as I tried to convince myself, oh, she'll be better tomorrow, she just kept getting worse until eventually she couldn't even get out of bed. She had visibly lost weight, and I had never heard her voice so weak and lethargic before. Is there anything you'd like me to get you, Nellie?
All I want is for you to be here with me, dearest Mel.
You really should eat something. I'll make something you like. How about a nice, expensive chicken? The last one got away, but I won't let that happen this time.
I'm not really in the mood for anything too heavy.
Oh, okay.
Don't you worry, Mel. I'll be better before you know it.
Yeah, you will. You'll be just fine. Everything's going to be back to normal soon.
Mm-hmm.
Watching Nellie grow weaker every day scared the hell out of me. I desperately did not want to lose her. If I lost her, then who would be left that wanted me? Who would tell me that I was worth something? Who would say nice things about me? Who would be there with me every day? Just when I had started to feel optimistic about this new life, started to feel comfortable in it, it was looking like it might fall apart again. I searched everywhere for some medicine that could cure her. Healthy foods, fruits and vegetables with supposed medicinal properties, anything I could get my hands on. I prayed. And Nellie, you were overjoyed. You were thrilled I would go to such lengths for you. But the reality is, I was really doing it for myself. But as much as I searched, I couldn't find anything that worked, and I started to panic. I would go to bed at night afraid I'd wake up the next morning, and Nellie wouldn't. I was already grasping at straws, and I was ready to try anything that had even the slightest chance of curing her. And then one day I heard whispers. Whispers of a witch who lived by the lake. They said she was a recluse, that she hardly ever left her house, and that she hadn't been down to the city in years. They told me she might have some medicinal herbs that could help, so I rushed down to the lake to see her. Sitting by the shore was a small cottage, even less luxurious than where Nellie and I were living at the time. Seeing the thin trails of smoke rising from the chimney, I was convinced the rumors were true. A witch lived in that house. I wasn't sure what to expect. Being a recluse, I figured she wasn't going to be very sociable, at least. To tell you the truth, I was kind of scared to knock on her door. But I had exhausted all my other options, so I clenched my teeth and gave the door 2 firm raps. "Who's there?" The sound of her voice caught me off guard, and all I could do was stare at the door with a knot in my throat. Based on the information I had, I'd assumed I was going to find a wrinkly old woman. But that was the voice of a young girl. And even though she'd only said 2 words, there was something indescribably enchanting about that voice. I could listen to her talk for hours on end in some kind of strange hypnotic trance. It was almost like magic, for lack of a better word. I stood there dumbfounded, like my soul had been sucked from my body. "Who's there?" She repeated her question, which brought me back to reality, though I still had to fight to maintain my wits enough to respond coherently. "My sister has fallen very ill, and she desperately needs medicine. I was told that the person who lived here is a skilled herbalist. Could I please get something to treat her?" "What are her symptoms?" Uh, uh, she's got an extremely high fever that won't come down. She has no appetite. She's only drinking water, and she can't get out of bed." "We're going to want to lower her fever first. After that, get her on a nutritious diet. I'm going to give you 2 medications. Give her the first while her fever's high, and the second after it's come down." "Thank you very much." Her voice wasn't bright and energetic like Nellie's. It was more restrained, somber, and quiet, yet simultaneously clear and sharp. The sound tickled my curiosity. I wanted to know what she looked like. I wanted to know what kind of girl stood on the other side of that door. With a voice that pretty, she must be equally lovely, I thought. And I had to see it for myself. And my wish didn't fall on deaf ears. When she opened the door to hand me the herbal medicine and take my money, her head peeked out between the crack ever so slightly. "I said I would tell you everything, exactly as it happened, so I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. It was unsettling. It was nothing like I had imagined from her voice. Her skin had, I guess, fallen off or something, because you could see the raw red flesh beneath. To say it was hard to look at would be an understatement. Most of her face was covered by a black hood, so all I could see was her mouth and chin, but even that much was harrowing. But the last thing I wanted to do was look away. For all I knew, that was why she had become a recluse, and I couldn't let myself hurt her, so I suppressed my own disgust and put on my best smile. People often tell me I have a very pleasant, amiable smile, so I figured I could use that to prevent her from picking up on what was actually going through my mind. And when she saw my face, a look of surprise seemed to cross hers. The witch's herbs did indeed seem to help some. Going to visit her was better than talking to any of the local doctors. Nonetheless, Nellie still hadn't been cured. She was only feeling a little bit better. So I kept paying the witch visits, kept purchasing more herbs from her. And every time I went to that cottage and heard her sweet voice, I imagined how much sweeter it would sound without a door obstructing it. Even knowing what she looked like didn't stop the curiosity from growing within me. From what I gathered talking to her, there wasn't much of an age difference between us either. She was 16 and I was 17. And I'm sure you know how it is. When you meet someone around your age, you feel a sort of sense of kinship. This girl I had originally believed to be some kind of otherworldly witch was starting to feel like a regular person to me. Through our conversations, I managed to learn her name, as well as the fact that she had come here from a faraway country. We were both a long way from home. Thinking she might open up even more to someone who'd been through a similar experience, I decided to try inviting her to go on a walk with me. It's not healthy to stay holed up all the time. You've got this beautiful lake right here. What do you say we take a little walk around the shoreline? To my surprise, she accepted. Great weather, isn't it? I love the way the sun reflects off the surface of the lake. It's gorgeous. Uh, are you okay? I'm in disbelief, to tell you the truth. Huh? What for? You've seen my face. You know how hideous I am. And still you invited me on a walk. You're a very peculiar person. Uh, is it really that strange? I mean, we're almost the same age, so I figured we might make pretty good friends. You want to make friends? With me? Well, sure. We've been through a lot of the same things, so we can understand each other better than most. Understand each other? Yeah, we're both young, but we've been through some rough times. I'm going to be blunt with you. You have not been through anything like I have. What? No? If you had experienced the things I have, you wouldn't be smiling right now. I haven't known you long, but I don't need to have in order to know how unequivocally dissimilar we are. That we were cut from a very different cloth. Uh, well, yeah, we're people. We're not made of cloth, so. That's not what that means, you know. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to be so harsh. In fact, I would say you're much better off not being in my position. It sounds like you've been through a lot. If you don't mind me asking, what happened to you? I'd be happy to lend an ear. It might make you feel better to get it off your chest. And that's what's so different about us. Huh? I will not tell you about myself, no. That said, I do appreciate the concern. Thank you. Oh, sure, you're welcome. She's not very open with people, huh? Though I guess that's only to be expected. She hasn't spent much time around other people looking the way she does. I wonder if there's anything I can do for her. At least get her to show a little bit of emotion. Say, if it's not too much to ask, you think maybe we could do this again sometime? Don't expect me to lower my prices. I'm not trying to squeeze a better deal out of you. I just want to get to know you better. Nothing more to it. No ulterior motives, promise. Did you already forget? I've already said I won't be telling you about myself. All right, then it doesn't have to be about you. We can talk about anything, whatever you want. Do you have a favorite food? Any hobbies? Nothing in particular. Well, that was a fruitful conversation. Uh, okay, crap. I have no interests or tastes worth mentioning, so if you want to talk, I suppose that leaves you to be the subject. Me? Tell me about yourself. My life's not all that exciting. Anything I had to tell you would probably just bore you. I'm not looking for excitement. Uh, oh, okay. Well, all right then. I guess I can tell you about myself. And so I did. I told her about my family situation, and I told her about Nellie, and that was pretty much all I had to talk about. For the most part, she hardly even reacted to anything I said, so it was difficult to tell if she was listening or not. But she would urge me to continue whenever I'd go quiet for more than a few moments, so I suppose she was listening. Every time I came to purchase more medicine, we would go on a walk around the lake together. A single loop around the shoreline didn't give us much time to talk, but my attempts to reduce our walking pace or stop to extend our time together were flatly ignored. and she refused to go around more than once, claiming it would disturb her daily rhythm. That said, she never refused an invitation either, so I don't think she particularly disliked me. Yet, anyway. Oh, a robin. Huh?
What does a robin have to do with your sister?
Nothing, I just saw one over there. If you listen, you can hear it singing. They migrate somewhere warmer when it gets cold. They just fly off to someplace more comfortable. If I had wings like a bird, maybe I could be free too.
There is not a single creature living in this world that is free.
Well,
Birds regularly get shot down by hunters or preyed on by larger birds. The idea that they are free is nothing more than man's short-sighted delusion.
uh, um, sorry, I guess.
No, I should be apologizing. I wasn't trying to attack you. I simply lack the ability to properly empathize with others. I do not understand people. So please, if I say anything that upsets you or makes you uncomfortable, don't assume that was my intention.
Sure. Maybe you're hiding it, or maybe you just don't know it yet, but I think you've got more empathy than you're letting on. Surely you can't say nothing affects you at all. You are human. So you don't have to be so closed off. I might not be able to do much for you, but I do want to get to know you better. I want to understand you. So if you ever feel like talking about yourself, just know that you've got an eager pair of ears here. Okay?
If there were ever someone who could understand me, who could empathize with me, they would not be human.
What do you mean?
That you would need to be far removed from any idea of humanity to have a chance at understanding me. Regardless, I do appreciate your kind words.
Sure. So, out of curiosity, do you have anyone, really important to you in your life?
Not at the moment.
Does that mean you used to?
I'd love to hear about them, if you don't mind. They're all long dead. 4 years ago, something unpleasant occurred. And as a result of that, I was forced to part ways with the people who taught me that humans have the capacity for kindness, the capability for kindness.
I can read. Oh, I'm sorry.
Well then, if your sister's condition worsens again, come see me. Farewell.
Hey, maybe we could walk a little slower next time, so we have more time to talk. I want to get to know you better.
I'll consider it.
Does it really require that much thought?
So long.
Uh, bye. See you soon. Things continued on like that for a while. Nellie bounced back and forth between getting better and getting worse. Emotionally, I followed not far behind, getting very little in the way of peace of mind. Having to spend so much time worrying over and looking after Nellie was starting to wear me out, even though I knew good and well she had it much worse than me. I wanted to be done with it all. I wanted to be free. I wanted her to get better as soon as possible, so I could stop agonizing over her. So at some point, I started wishing for a miracle. I didn't care if it came from God, an angel, or something less holy. I just wanted someone to cure Nellie and take the weight off my shoulders. And during one of our walks, I let that slip. I'll take anything at this point to make her better. I'll even take a miracle if I can get one. I assumed she would, as she had a tendency to, say that people who believed in miracles were delusional. She was, in my mind, very much a realist, which is why her response surprised me so much.
Do you sincerely wish for a miracle?
What?
Do you truly want a miracle, no matter what form it may take?
Well, yeah. I've tried everything else. God is all I can ask for help anymore. I know what you're going to say. There's no such thing as miracles. If there were, Nellie would already be better. I've prayed every single night for her recovery. It's all just a delusion, I know.
Miracles do exist.
What?
If you have faith and you sincerely wish for her to be healed, you will be granted your miracle.
What are you talking about, Morgana?
You've said many times that you wish to know more about me.
Yeah, I have.
Well, I'll grant you that wish. As you listen to my story, you will come to understand why I said you will never be able to empathize with me. And as you do, hope will sprout up within you. Here in my lakeside cottage, I am known as a witch, but I did not used to be called such.
No?
I am the daughter of God.
Most people would dismiss such a claim as madness, and I almost did exactly that. But there was something strangely enchanting about her voice, and I found myself slowly drawn into her tale, listening intently to her every word. The more I heard, the harder it was to believe she was lying. And before long, I was convinced she was the daughter of God, a saint whose blood had miraculous powers. Her first cry ended a lengthy drought in the village where she was born, and her blood cured the sick. She rolled up one sleeve to show me her arm. Practically every inch of skin from her shoulder to the tips of her fingers was scarred where she had been cut. According to her, the scarring had once been far worse, but had improved with the application of ointment. Every single one of those scars, she said, marked a person who had sought her blood. And I believed every word. Yeah. Oh, but when we try to pass ourselves off as God, Mel just rolls his eyes. Clearly it's because we're not a cute girl. Like that seems to be the difference. There was something about her that set her apart from the rest of us normal people. Like she was some higher being. They were not self-inflicted wounds, not the marks of someone who had tried to take her own life, but symbols of the great sacrifices she had made. She offered to give Nellie her blood, and without a moment's hesitation, I accepted.
Mel?
Hey, Nellie, I'm back. And I brought someone with me. A saint.
A saint?
Yep. She's here because medicine hasn't been working for you. She can perform miracles, so she's going to cure you.
Miracles?
That's right. Her blood has miraculous healing powers.
Blood? Fear not, my beloved sister. Hear my words and do as I say. You must have faith for the miracle to be performed correctly. I give you my blessing, that it may bestow unto you salvation. I give you my love, and I give you relief. Hear my words. I hear them. This body was created not in a mortal womb. This flesh is not the flesh of man. This blood is not the blood of man. The water that flows through these holy veins flows from the river of creation. Have mercy on them, O Father. May the infirm find comfort in your warmth. May the destitute find reprieve in your generosity. May my flesh bring nourishment and health unto this girl. Bestow upon her your blessing, O Father.
Morgana held a pale hand above Nellie's mouth, and without hesitation sliced her own wrist. Blood slowly trickled down her middle finger from the cut, dripping into the gap between Nellie's bluish lips. I stood there entranced by the scene. It was like I was witnessing some kind of ritual. I wasn't sure, however, whether to describe it as sacred or profane. Watching the fresh blood trickle from the cut on her wrist made me break out into a sweat, feeling like I was violating a taboo. My knees rattled and I could barely stay on my feet. Needles prickled my hands. Thoughts slipped through my fingers before they could fully form. Had I crossed a line that wasn't meant to be crossed? Had I stepped into territory man was never supposed to enter? In time, I stopped processing Morgana's prayer as words. It became nothing but a rhythmical sequence of sounds bouncing around in my head. My line of sight grew gradually narrower. Huh? Huh? Are you all right? The ceremony is complete. Uh, uh, how's Nellie? She's asleep right now, but she should awaken soon. Oh, good. My blood has the power to cause miracles, but you must remember that the miracle is predicated on your faith. So are you saying we need to worship you? No, I'm merely God's progeny. Your praises and prayers should be directed at my Father, the Lord God. I should get going then. Thank you very much. When Morgana had said I would never be able to understand or empathize with her, she had not been lying. Having only heard her tell of it, I still believed there was room for me to close the gap between us, that we still had enough in common. But seeing it with my own eyes, feeling it with my entire being, I no longer had any illusions of us being on the same plane. As I gave her my thanks, my voice was audibly trembling. Mel? Come on, get up, dearest Mel. Hmm? Oh, Mel! Nellie? Finally, you're awake, sleepyhead. What's with the look? Am I making a funny face? Are you good to be up and about? Yep, I woke up this morning feeling wonderful. Feel my forehead, Mel. See? No fever. It is. It's gone. She actually performed a miracle. I only remember bits and pieces, but I remember a really pretty saint lady showing up and giving me her blood. That's how she remembers it? Her memory is pretty hazy, huh? And then I got this warm, fuzzy feeling inside me. Then I had this really strange dream. What kind of dream? There were a whole bunch of lights floating all around me, and they were changing into all sorts of different colors. It was the most wonderful dream. That doesn't help me understand at all, Nellie. It was a good dream, and that's what matters. It must have been the Saint Lady's power at work. Must be, yeah. I'm so relieved you're feeling better, Nellie. Sorry for all the trouble I caused you. But now everything can go back to normal. Yep, all back to normal. She wants to thank me. Yeah, Nellie's insisting I let her meet you so she can show her gratitude. So if it's all right, would you mind coming to supper sometime? That would probably not be wise. Huh? Why not? It would hardly be pleasant having to eat in the presence of a face as grotesque as mine, and I doubt your sister would react well to the sight of it. I don't think it would cause any problems. Nellie isn't the kind of girl to judge someone by their looks. I think I missed part of that line. Oh well. Perhaps, but to her, I'm a saint, not a normal person. In her mind, she thinks I'm beautiful, doesn't she? We must maintain that illusion. It is essential to the miracle that her faith remains unwavering, and on some level, that faith depends on her idealized image of me. You think so? Though our time together was brief, I could see it in here. She is a girl with a great love of beauty. And perhaps the same could be said of you. I don't judge people by how they look. It's what's inside that matters. I'll take you at your word. Thanks. So, are you sure you don't want to come? I really shouldn't. I'm terribly sorry. Oh, okay. Why in the world am I feeling relieved? I think we're going to end here for tonight. I'm a little bit tired. It's been a long week. So, let's see. Next stream is Sunday, 10 o'clock Eastern, 7 o'clock Pacific. I cannot believe we've made it through this week. And I don't have any announcements. So, nice and exciting stream tonight. Can't wait to see how things go. Thank you for the hope for good rest. I need it. So, and hopefully by Sunday I will have recovered. So, no worries if you need to miss anything. Please just come back when you can. As a reminder, you can always rewatch our old streams. We've got the video on demand for anything that isn't posted on the YouTube channel yet, but of course we have the YouTube channel. I think it's still a month behind. It might be catching up, but yeah. So you should be able to find a video in one of those two places. So that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and have a good night all. Bye.